joining in the most effective way. One of the most important things I can share with you is something for your notes, is assume success. You joined your company, assume success. You joined your company, assume that you're going to eventually find your way to the top of that compensation structure. Assume the fact that you're going to ultimately be an important leader in your community. Assume the fact that you're going to be a recognized player in your city or your state. Assume the fact that you're going to be known by the home office. Assume the fact you're going to be invited to speak on the stages of your company, conferences. Assume success, right? Own that. Some of you are like, I'm a behind-the-scenes person. That's okay. It's okay. I'm an introverted person by nature. I know it doesn't seem like it, right? But I'm an introverted person by nature, and I learned that I could bring my energy to a place where I could serve other people, and serving other people was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. So even though some people would like to be a behind-the-scenes person, there's a little chunk of your life where other people might need you to be in front of them. They might need to hear your story that you're nervous. They might relate to you different than they relate to me. So you decide the style of leadership that you want to be. But what I want to tell you is assume success. Assume you're going to crush this. Assume it's going to be amazing. Assume this is going to be the best ride of your life. Assume that you're going to impact millions of people around the world. Assume all that, okay? Now, if we're going to assume all that, those of you watching on this course from home, you typically have a choice when you join your company. Sometimes there's different ways that you could enter. There's like the top end. There's some kind of a middle choice, and sometimes there's a bottom minimum choice, right? How many people have something like that in your company? How many people don't? Okay, some just have one way. That's fine. And if that's true, that this doesn't apply to you as much, but the mentality does. The mentality does. So the first thing I want you to get clear on is this. It's very important, if you're assuming success, that you start at the highest level possible inside of your opportunity. That you start there or you restart there. Some of you have already bought the lowest package. You need to upgrade that. Now, this has nothing to do with my self-interest. It has a lot to do with your self-interest. A lot. Let me tell you why this is a big deal. If we're assuming success, what story would you prefer to tell for the rest of your career? I joined at the bottom and I worked my way up, or I took that choice because it still wasn't that much, and I made that choice. It was the best decision I ever made. Which one's going to be more valuable for you? Second one, yes? Which one's going to help more people face their fears and do it themselves? Second one. Which one's ultimately good for them? Second one. So person says, that's fine, I just don't have the money. Okay. I don't believe you. I don't. I love you, but I don't believe you. You can do that lowest level, you can do the highest level. You can. We're not talking about a difference between a $10,000 business and a $250,000 business. We're talking about what, $1,000 difference? Not very much more than that. Could you figure it out? Yes, you can. If you struggle with that, trying to figure that out, those of you who are watching this, start a fresh piece of paper and make a list of all the things that you could possibly do that would help you solve that problem and get the $1,000. What could you do? Could you sell something? Could you have a garage sale? Could you go to your friends and family and tell them that they're going to be part of your success story for the rest of your life? Could you find somebody who believes in you? You figure it out. Make a list of 50 things. One of those 50 is going to help you get it done. Because here's the thing. It's not because I want you to buy a little bit more product. If it was just about that, I would just say join wherever you feel comfortable. It's not about that. If we're going to assume success here, let's build the story that will get you the best results. So number one is, what story would you rather tell for the rest of your career? Now it's okay. Here's the little piece of my story. I started with the lowest level possible because I knew it was the only loan I could get. The company had a financing program. I could put in $240 and they financed another $500. And back then, this is back in 1988, they had a $5,000 package. That might as well have been $5 million. So much money. But within a week, I realized I made a mistake. I've got to figure out a way to get this thing changed. So I got resourceful and I figured it out. And I sold people through my effort and through my ability. Come on, I'm doing this thing. And they helped me out. I paid them back. And I started my career. So reason number one is assume success, and what story do you want to tell? One's going to make you a fortune. The other will make you a little bit of money. Number two, reason. People do what you say, or will they do what you do? Come on, work with me. Do what you do. So, you think you're going to be able to pull off coming in at the minimum and then telling them to come in at the maximum? Nope. They'll find out. You won't even have to tell them. You could try and hide it for a while. But they'll find out, and when they do, their opinion of you will drop. Oh, they wanted me to do something they weren't willing to do. People will do what you do. The example itself is worth the investment. Third reason is the company created that package for a reason. There's stuff in there that will be valuable in helping grow your business. There's stuff in there that you can use. There's products in there that you can use to be able to sample to other people, to use yourself, to become your number one customer, to make all this stuff happen. The company did it for a reason. It wasn't just to be able to get more dollars. It was to be able to help a person have a higher chance for success. That's reason number three. Reason number four. Who has a better chance of success? Somebody who invests $500 into a new business and somebody invests $500,000. $500,000, but that sounds like a lot more risk. Why would they have a better chance for success? They got 500,000 reasons. Here's one of the biggest challenges in network marketing. You can get involved for the cost of taking the families to the movies one night. So, when the going gets tough, and it will, when the challenges occur, and they will, when somebody says no or quits on them, and it will happen, they go, you know what? It's just one night at the movies. I guess I'll just use the product. I'll just hang out. It'll be all right. No failure here, right? Price of entry's low, price of exit's low. I wish it was fashionable to charge more money. That you had to put some skin in the game. Because your chances of success would go up dramatically. But we have this very, very open meritocracy, this very democratic thing that allows anybody with a dream and a few shekels to be able to come in and go through the school of hard knocks and figure this thing out. So that's great. But it also doesn't necessarily serve them if they're assuming success. Price of entry is low, price of exit's low. I would like to have the price of entry as high as I can get it as the culture in the group. Guess what? Some people are afflicted with one of the most terrible diseases there is in the world. For a business person or a person who would like to be a business person, here's the disease. It's called minimum disease. People all over the world are inflicted with minimum disease. What's the minimum? What's the minimum I can do? What's the cheapest ticket to the concert? What's the minimum I can pay? Right? What's the lowest? What's the cheapest? And they don't realize what they do to their own psyche every time that they make that minimum choice. Treating themselves like a minimum person. Treating their opportunity like a minimum opportunity. So this applies not just to how you enter. Understand how you enter and your decision around this, your clarity on this. The notes that I hope you have here, either at home through your workbook or what you have in this room. The notes that you have, I want you to be able to create a vision for why you're doing what you're doing. I don't want you to get it because there's a bigger commission attached. That's not the point. The point is creating a culture within your organization that assumes success, that gives people the best chance to be able to go out there and fulfill their dreams, to be able to create an organization that is different. Because guess what the company average probably is inside of your company? It's nowhere near the top package if there is more than one. It's the bottom plus a little. Just a little. Decide that the company culture can be what it is, but your culture is going to be different. If you make that decision, I'm telling you, assume success and assume 10 years from today. 2 people join. 1 person has minimum disease, sorry. And another person says, you know what? We're going maximum. We're going full out. We're going full capacity. We're still going to love somebody who is too fearful to make the choice to do the maximum, but we're not going to let them sell us that story that it's, we're still solid in our beliefs, right? This person and this person. Fast forward 10 years. What do those 2 organizations look like from that single decision? See why this is a time machine for people watching this course? That single decision will change the course of your entire business. That cultural decision will change everything for you. When that happens within the organization, it starts with you. So if you're not at the top position with the top package in your company, it's time to upgrade. Be honest, in this room, how many people came in at less than the top position, the top package? Be honest. Be honest. No shame in it. Okay, fix it now. Go fix it. Go fix it. Change that story and use the story. I realized that I did a disservice, not to myself, but to the entire organization by doing that. I just didn't know how important it was, so I changed it. And once I changed it, everything changed. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2 is your monthly commitment. What is your monthly commitment? Typically in a company, a lot of companies are different. Some companies have a monthly commitment that you can do in order to qualify to get your commissions. And what do people want to know? What's the minimum? So I get a check. What do I got to do? Right? Now, is that minimum enough to be able to support a person who's trying to build an empire? No. If we're assuming success, is that an appropriate decision for them to make? No. But we not only allow it, most of the time we promote it. Most of the time. Some high income earners don't, but most of the time we do. So, should your monthly commitment be higher than your expectation for the team? Yes or no? Yes. Is it? Some of you is yes, some of you is no. It's okay. Once you know, then, 3 months from now, we'll judge you. Today, we don't judge you. Today, we're just like, hey, okay. But here's the thing. We want to make sure that your monthly commitment is appropriate to your goals and your vision if you're assuming success. So when it comes to your products, we're going to talk about products and services a little bit. If you're going to be the number one fan of your products and services, you're going to be the number one brand ambassador for your products or services, do you need to be using all or most of them or whichever are appropriate? Yes, the answer is yes. Should you have some on hand to be able to sample to other people, to be able to showcase, to be able to show at your meetings, show at your get-togethers? The answer is yes, yeah? So, is your example on that monthly basis going to ripple through your organization and 10 years from today you're going to be in a different place, yes or no? Yes. Your example. People will do what you do. People will watch. People will pay attention. You have to decide to make this a priority. A priority. Minimum disease has to be attacked on a daily basis within your organization. Minimum disease. And minimum disease shows up in lots of different forms. We're going to talk about that a lot of different ways. It shows up, but it's specifically here, in how you enter. Your entry point into your network marketing business might have already passed, but we can still remedy it. We can, restart and make that fresh story. It's fine. Monthly, upfront, initial package is one, and monthly is a second. Third, does your company have tools, supplies, websites, brochures, stuff? How many people here have stuff in your company? Would it be appropriate that people inside of your company have this stuff? Guess how many of them actually do? Almost none. They have a distributor kit that usually gets put under a desk someplace. They're almost never prepared when they sit down with somebody to share their product, their opportunity. Make sure that your team has the stuff, whatever that is for your organization, that you think is appropriate to success. Depending on your level of commitment and your assumption of success is the number of startup, monthly commitment, and tools that you need to have in order to be able to grow your business. Does this all make sense? All right, so here's the assignment for all of you. Those of you watching on this course, those of you watching here in the room. Number one, take a look at how you entered and is there anything that needs to be fixed? Number two, around that entry, do you need to start changing the conversation and the language that you're using within the organization so other people understand the importance and the urgency of this? As you're bringing in new people, those of you watching this program and just getting started yourself, as you bring in a new person, what you say to them is going to matter. Next, does your monthly commitment need some work? Does your personal monthly commitment need some work? And if you have people on your team, does the team monthly commitment need some work? Understand, changing a culture takes a little time, that's okay, but it's worth it. And then last, what are the tools that people have? I know we're electronic largely today, a lot of electronic stuff. Make sure people know where those are. Make sure people can access those things, they get well connected. But if there's physical tools, sometimes a physical tool is a really powerful thing. If there's physical tools, then use the physical tool in order to be able to put them in the hands of people so they're always equipped. So when they get asked a question, they can point to a tool instead of having to try and use their own words.